Welcome
Welcome
to a new episode of what we have now titled our show,
our brand, our company,
whatever,
perhaps
our empire.
Is
this entertainment?
Is it?
Is this entertainment? Is this a thing?
Yeah. So we could do a lower key version.
Right?
Welcome to
Is this
entertainment.
Today
Today we're gonna talk about what are we talking about?
we're talking about the Mandalorian today.
The
Mandalorian today.
Season 2.
Season 2 just started.
Should we talk about season 1 at all?
Of course. We should talk about the whole thing.
Okay.
Currently, where we are in time, in life, 2 episodes are out of the second season.
Yeah,
That's how far we're in.
We're really on the ball with this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen both episodes. Have you seen both
I've
episodes?
seen both episodes.
You've seen both episodes? Okay, great. So we can talk about, if you have not seen first and second episodes of The Mandalorian season 2, just stop. Go watch them. Come back to us later on.
Yeah.
Bookmark this page.
This is a page.
If this is a page, or if you're listening to us.
Mention that. So yeah, if you're on YouTube right now, then this is shorter.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Yeah.
Well, if it's shorter, we've probably cut this out.
Right. Is this entertainment? No, you're gonna go to isthisentertainment.com because
Isthisentertainment.com.
I'm pretty sure it's not taken.
And
just
figure it out from there.
You can watch the whole thing.
Let's start with this question for you. When you found out The Mandalorian was happening as a show, that it was going to be the first premiere Disney Plus show, live action Star Wars television show centered around a Mandalorian, first thoughts. What do you think? What were we thinking?
I thought it was stupid.
Oh, wow. Really? That's
Yeah.
not what I thought I was going to hear today.
No. Yeah. I actually watched most of Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. So
all right.
I kind of know what's going on with Mandalorians.
All right.
More than probably a normal person would know.
Absolutely.
What a Mandalorian is.
I'm in season 3, maybe early season 4 on Clone Wars and
Rebels.
I have not watched Rebels yet. I'm gonna watch Clone Wars, then I'm gonna watch Rebels, and then I'll.
The last season of Rebels will melt your mind and make you think about Star Wars differently.
Word.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So it's worth it.
Man, I didn't realize how deep through the nerdery you'd gotten. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, when you
look, I'm following.
have anything else to do.
I'm following behind, so I cannot.
No.
This is no judgment zone.
No, I mean, it's a big deal. But all of this lore was created in an animated world of Star Wars.
You can do a little bit more there. It's a little.
Part of me is really torn, because I realize Star Wars is for kids.
Right. Yeah. That. Okay. Yep. And I have a follow up to that, but keep going.
And I'm 40.
Yes.
But and I'm still looking forward to everything that comes out.
100%.
Even when I found out it was The Mandalorian, I was just like, how is this even going to work? Because if you know what happens in the animated series,
don't spoil me.
You just I just kind of wondered how it was relevant to the rest of the Star Wars universe, except for maybe Ahsoka, which we might be getting in this
right. Word on the street.
Rosario Dawson situation. So
for it.
So it's actually getting more interesting as the seasons go on. But originally, I just was like, what? Because it doesn't make sense. Originally, I heard they were going to make a Boba Fett show.
Right.
Mandalorian looks almost identical to Boba Fett, with upgraded gear. And so it was what is this, just Disney being weird and political? Not political in our sense of political, but just within its own company politics.
Right.
Oh, you can't do Boba Fett because he got eaten.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know.
Sarlacc pit.
Yeah. Seems now they have a plan.
Yeah.
A serious plan.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely got the sense from the show early on that not only did they have a plan, but they were, and it seems like Dave Filoni has a good steady hand on the wheel and is willing to really kind of dive in to the mythology that Clone Wars and Rebels have set up. Also, the idea that all of the the old extended universe was so reliant on books, and now that that's all jettisoned via Disney, they can explore it, but they're exploring it through cartoons and live action shows, which I'm thrilled about, which brings me back to the idea of this is for children, and we are...
How could it be?
A 38 and a 40-year-old man, and there's a whole lot about ownership, which a lot of people have been struggling with, from the original to the prequels to the sequels to now. And I find all of those dynamics super interesting because I firmly believe, and this is why and I'm going to say it right into this microphone, love the prequels. I love the prequels. I love the prequels. They are a lot of fun for me. And the reason I do is because they are for children first. They are for children first. They are for us second, maybe even third. I don't know who would supplant us, but we could potentially be third on the list. Okay, so there's the generation that's a little bit older than us. Like, I would call them like Gen X
Boomers.
Prime.
Boomers.
I don't know, man, because I'm technically millennial. We're in the AOL dial-up generation.
Yeah, we're Gen X millennials.
So I'm thinking those people that were old enough to see Star Wars, the original, in 78 in theaters. So the people born in 1970. I apologize to all of my family members that might be listening to this. Sometimes I say the F word.
Right.
Yeah, so I think there's those people who hate the prequels because it ruined their childhood. Okay, so here's the deal. I just said something that I think you are a little shocked by, and I want to get your reaction to it. I just told you that I love the prequels. Yeah. Let me qualify that statement real quick. I love the original trilogy more, obviously. Okay. But I would say I love the new trilogy. I love the prequels almost equally. Like, it's definitely 1 and then 2A and 2B. 2A being the new stuff, 2B being the prequels. Rogue One is in there too.
So you actually like the new stuff better than the prequels?
I do like the new stuff better than the prequels. In some respects, it's really like they're opposite ends of the spectrum for me.
They're so different.
They're very different, but I love them. Like, I could just as easily put on The Last Jedi right now as I could put on Attack of the Clones.
No.
All right. So your reaction to everything I just said.
I've grown some more fondness for the prequels more than I've had before, and watching them with my wife, who is much younger than me, helps me to see it in like a different way. So I've grown some respect for the prequels. Like, there's a love story, and apparently she can identify with that somewhat. I feel like it's hard to.
Your cold black heart can't relate to a love story.
I can't. Well, I don't know. It's hard to feel the loves in the acting and the direction of the show. Mm-hmm. Right. The portrayal of it and the writing and the issue, like the whole point of the prequels, when they said, we're going to do prequels and this is how Vader turns bad, 99% of that is not on the screen.
Right.
Which to me is like a huge letdown.
Definitely.
And the Phantom Menace could have like not existed. They could have started with Attack of the Clones.
Definitely.
Could have done a whole other movie where you start to see Anakin turning dark, hence the Clone Wars, which is what got animated. They could have actually shown that in a movie, a film.
True. Yeah, so much of I feel like a lot of the Clone Wars is retconning the movies to
explain.
Yeah, give it a little bit more, flesh it out a little bit more.
Yeah, so you see how he turned.
Right.
But even that, like, he's so good in the beginning of it, like the first several seasons, he's like superhero Anakin.
Again, don't spoil it for me. I'm only in season 4.
Right. What I'm saying is, in Revenge of the Sith,
right,
which was supposed to be where he all of a sudden turns, like, instantaneously he goes from being like a dude that's like tries to help everybody to like slaughtering
children,
children.
Yeah, killing George Lucas's grandson.
Which is my point about how Star Wars maybe shouldn't be just for children. when you go that route and you want to show
Right.
that story, that's not a story you want to tell to children.
Mm-hmm. I think part of why it translates is that as you get older, you watch the Star Wars movies and you get more from it. You get to see a little bit more from it. I'm not saying it's like super dense Lord of the Rings territory, but if you sat my nephews down, my nephews are 10 years old right now, and if you sat them down, sorry, they're 11. I'm a bad uncle. If you sat them down right now and said, too. That's wonderful. Uncle's great because you get a title, but you didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
If I sat them down and was like, Star Wars, they would be like, Anakin. Now, at this point, they've seen the new movies come out, so maybe one of them's gonna throw out a maybe they're gonna drop a Kylo Ren or whatever. But for many years, it was Anakin, Obi-Wan, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I think that's another problem too. Like, what are you telling children? Okay, this is the best character. He's so likable or whatever, supposedly. And,
right.
And you should root for him, and then he turns into pure evil.
Right.
Do they get the lesson, or are they too young? Like, is that wreck their minds?
No. I think they can make the leap of like, this. I think it's way easier for them to go, this guy was good, and then he talked to the really bad guy, and then now he's bad.
I see.
That's like a real quick switch for them, where for us, I think there's like, I don't know that he was entirely justified in going from a person who was conflicted at worst to being. Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah. I don't think a 10-year-old is putting that much time. It's just like, they show up. A kid walks into a room and is like, okay, this movie that I don't know anything. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? He's a good guy. Okay, great. And he's a bad guy now. Oh, okay, great. Very accepting.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay, one last thing about the prequels, and then I promise we'll talk about The Mandalorian.
What we're here for?
Without Jar Jar Binks. If it weren't for Jar Jar Binks, the technological advance that was Jar Jar Binks for 1998, 97, okay, without Jar Jar Binks, we wouldn't have Gollum 4 or 5 years later. And without Gollum, we wouldn't have bringing Peter Cushing back from the dead to be a legitimate part of Rogue One. To where, at the end of that movie, I went to family members and said, so how about that guy who was completely digital? And they were like, excuse me, what? And I was like, yeah, the old guy was not there. That was a dude wearing dots on his face.
Yeah. I mean, they made progress, but like that technology was moving along anyway, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like without George Lucas giving a nudge, it would have gotten there, but I don't think it would have gotten there as quickly or as cleanly. Clone Wars was the very first movie to ever be shot completely digitally. So the man was making moves, but he might have overstepped.
Did you watch, when did Dark City come out? The Wikipedia.
This show is brought to you by wikipedia.org. Donate money to them.
Dark City, 1998. When did
Phantom Menace was 97, right?
99.
99.
So a fully digital movie did exist.
Oh, word.
All green screen. Whole film.
Dark City?
It was The Matrix before The Matrix.
Okay. Should I watch this movie? Is it good?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It will melt your mind a little bit.
I'm for it. I like that. I like having my mind melted.
I want to say the main lead is I want to say it's Kenneth Branagh, Alex Proyas, and Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer.
Yes.
Pre-24 Kiefer.
Yeah. So spoiler alert for Dark City. I won't go too far.
Is this going to make me not want to watch it?
No, you definitely want to watch it. Okay, I won't spoil it completely, but it was The Matrix before The Matrix, and Kiefer Sutherland plays a crazy doctor, who's implementing technology and manipulating reality.
Okay.
Or helping others manipulate reality. It's wild. It's a great.
So we can't
say that it's because of this movie that happened. That's what I'm trying. That's
okay. Maybe I'm putting way too much causality on that.
Yeah.
But it was part of the fabric.
Yeah, it was definitely it's definitely a big leap.
You've got that. You got Phantom Menace, obviously. You got The Matrix coming out in '99. So those some big technological advances.
Yeah, I
were
mean,
all
shooting
happening
stuff
at one
on
time.
green screen like is new.
Right. I'm talking about like shooting it on
Like and all digital
digital
Yeah.
footage, like not using actual film.
Oh, film.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was shot on digital footage as well. But I mean, the entire production. There's nothing
Maybe
real.
I'm thinking digital projectors.
I mean, you're right.
Was
Lucas,
the first something.
okay. Lucas fronts
Lucas,
a lot of technological
Industrial Light
innovation,
and Magic.
but I'm just saying it doesn't. It's not exclusive to Lucas.
Agreed.
But he does
Agreed.
push it along.
Agreed.
Just fine. We can agree on that.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the Mandalorian.
Okay, my bad. What a tangent.
No,
you got
my bad. I started talking about the prequels. I can talk about the prequels all day. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, I'm glad that it's happening.
Oh,
I'm also glad that Jon Favreau's at the helm, because Iron Man set the tone and really took it, to the next level. And so him being in charge, I'm for it. Also, being a comedy nerd, seeing like random Second City Chicago people like popping in and out of The Mandalorian, or just comedy people in general. Bill Burr shows up in the first season. Amy Sedaris is all over the place. About? I think it's just Favreau being Favreau, pulling people that he knows and loves. Okay. Taika Waititi, come on, like who's more important in Hollywood right now? Like who's hitting more home runs than Taika Waititi? Nobody. So having a bunch of just really strong aces. I don't know if they're just coming in because it's Star Wars, and if you can do a favor and show up in a Star Wars, you got what is it? Adam Pally and Sudeikis play like random stormtroopers in the last episode of the first season. Amazing, amazing. Oh, and then Giancarlo Esposito just shows up out of nowhere with the Darksaber. I had to go Wikipedia what Darksaber was because I was not far enough into the Clone Wars yet. Mm-hmm. Please, no spoilers.
No, I need to watch it again. I mean, I don't
really
remember
restricting
everything.
you on.
No, I don't remember everything, but like it's definitely in there.
So I've seen the Darksaber get introduced now with the Clone Wars, so that's rad. So my goal was to try to have that finished before Mandalorian season 2 came out, but then I stopped. It was my treadmill show. I would watch it on the treadmill, and then I got real lazy. From a comedy nerd standpoint, seeing random comedy people just drop in and out of the show, awesome. I also love the premise as a whole. Instead of it being just like pure mythology, like story, it really does have like this one-off, a man and a child.
He's thrown into a situation
exactly,
and that's what happens.
Gets his ass kicked all of the time.
Yeah,
isn't just like utterly dominant.
But I feel like he can put himself in positions to get his ass kicked more because his armor's so
true. Definitely,
like he's not really scared because he's bulletproof or whatever, which hasn't happened in Star Wars, and I've had kind of mixed feelings about that.
I feel like a lot of Star Wars is a lot of the movies was based on either people missing, like stormtroopers having terrible aim, so much so that it becomes a joke in The Mandalorian, and then in the prequels, it's like, well, everybody's got lightsabers, so they can deflect them a lot more. They can deflect blaster fire. You can't call them bullets.
Right.
Jedi deflecting those super easy, so you don't have to worry about that as much. So this, adds a new dynamic of, sometimes he gets shot.
Yeah.
But luckily he's got this, crazy armor.
Right. Which is obviously valuable since
definitely
it works.
Yeah, 100%. So much so that, Timothy Oliphant shows up and he's got Boba Fett's armor.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, are we hadn't talked about the Mandalorian?
Yeah, let's get into it. The first episode. Oliphant shows up. He's got first episode of season 2.
Yeah, but before he even sees Oliphant, he's looking. What happens? So I feel like I missed a spot. Like the spot of time is not covered.
Okay.
Because the end of season 1 of Mandalorian.
Yep.
Where were they again?
Yep. They
Moff Gideon.
Yep. They ran away from him.
And then I feel like I missed something.
Oh, girl, who was like the forger, if you will. Mm-hmm. She's basically like, this child is your ward now. And
right, and so she
you need to reunite him with his people, but he's with you until then. So he's trying to find them, but in order to find them, he needs to find some other Mandalorians who can potentially help him.
Right, because he
Tell
like
him-
even though the guy in the jetpack flew alongside him at the last episode, he didn't tell him where he was going.
Man, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, like at the very end, he's like, "Oh, I got to get one of those." The line.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So, but they didn't mention where they were going.
Yeah, I'm just, I guess maybe I'm just trusting that, like, the people that were around didn't know what was up. So he's just asking around, like, hey, I need to find some more Mandalorians so that I can figure out what kind of creature this Baby Yoda is and where do I find more of them.
Well, I think he's just like he's literally trying to find his tribe that left. Like they all left.
Oh, right. When
They had to
all bolted,
find them.
yeah.
They had to set up a new secret base,
Mm-hmm.
but they for some reason didn't tell Mando where that was. And like to me, it's a little whack, but I guess it gives you a reason to do season 2.
Side note, I imagine anyone who's listening right now who actually knows what's going on is screaming at whatever device or, car radio, wherever you're listening / watching this video, you're very mad at us for not knowing the answer because I've been the guy on the other end listening to something who knows the answer to something and is screaming at the device.
Put a friendly comment below.
Dude.
But yeah, why didn't they tell him where they were going when the guy was flying right next to him? That's what I don't get. Anyway, so he's got to find the same people that he just left, which makes no sense to me. That's where I just can't get it.
See, I'm just trusting that that he doesn't, that those guys, they don't know. So everybody bolted on him.
So they're saying like half of the Mandalorians we knew died.
Yes.
Like from that. Okay.
Yeah.
So they died.
Yeah.
And then they escaped.
Yeah. The armor says return the child to its people.
Yeah.
And now he's on that. He's figuring
He's
that
on
quest
that
out.
path. Okay.
Yeah. And he doesn't know where all the other Mandalorians went. He needs some answers.
He needs some answers. And so he goes to a boxing match. The alien he was talking to was an alien, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where the Mandalorians are.
Right.
And he's not really going to tell him.
Or he wanted the armor. That's what he wanted. He wanted the armor. And then...
Which he should know better.
If you, false confidence, thinking you got 12 dudes versus one.
Right.
You got good odds.
Right. And
didn't work out for him.
In all reality, that's probably should have worked out but he has, what are those the whistle button? Those are made from Beskar. They show that in the first one. They're made from Beskar.
The whistle
The
button.
whistlers. The little mini missiles.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's his backup.
Right.
And it kind of bothers me a little bit because it's like, it's too easy. Just like push a button and then everybody dies.
Everybody gets killed.
Yeah. And like, how does it know which guy to kill and how does it not accidentally kill the wrong person?
From a framing device to move the plot along. It worked out.
It worked out, but it was a little forced to me. Like,
okay.
I didn't like that. Actually,
right.
I really was like,
a little too Iron Man.
It was too Iron Man and too easy.
Yeah.
Just push a button and then it goes exactly to the right guys and kills them. But like, it's just a little weird. Like,
no, I get it.
Yeah. And maybe there's like a targeting thing that's going on with his eyes inside of
right. Maybe there's something we don't see.
That was going on. Like,
right.
It's just like, yeah. Anyway, but you're right. It moved the plot along.
Right.
And we got to see some Gamorreans like hitting each other with laser axes.
Always fun.
Which is, I don't know. It just felt awkward to me. Like, because when we both thought of that episode, like you keep skipping ahead because like you kind of delete that whole scene because it's like, it didn't feel natural to me, like from my point of view.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I get that.
Yeah. But the next scene is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, what? Going off to Tatooine?
Should we skip the leaving the guy for dead, though? That was a little hardcore.
Oh, right. Yeah. All those crazy...
apparently, things with red eyes.
Yeah, things with red eyes.
Yeah. Like, it's got a little bit of horror element.
The second episode, most definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, it goes into straight up, like...
Yeah, that was...
Alien
I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go back to episode 1.
It's going to take us 2 hours to talk about a 30-minute episode. You could have just watched it again.
Well, I mean, look, we don't need to go plot point by plot point.
No. But I mean, like, I thought it was, you won't die by my hand. Like, he's not lying.
Mm-hmm.
But, he just left him there to die.
Yeah,
and like, that was pretty hardcore. Like, I thought he was growing a heart a little bit. It seemed like.
I feel like there's going to be a certain amount of, like, cutthroat energy, kind of a little bit of anti-hero in him, a little Batman. Yeah. A little, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. I'm fine with that kind of energy. It's not like he's a Jedi.
I know, but you're basically saying the difference between like from a writer point of view, the only reason you were doing the Mandalorian and not Boba Fett is because Boba Fett is the guy that kills people and is fucking terrible.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? And like this guy has a little bit of a code and a little more morals. That's what it seems like what they're trying to set up, but like it hasn't really sunk in all the way. It seems like it's like he's still got that like bounty hunter thing going on.
I think if you make the show about Boba Fett, you have to explain so much before you can even get into him having a normal life.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to explain away the Sarlacc.
It would take 2 seconds. You show him on his jetpack flying on the Sarlacc.
Yeah, but then what's been going on for the last 30 years? Yeah, we'll call it 30. I don't know where the timeline is exactly. But
I don't think it's that long, but yeah, it's like 10.
Maybe 15 years.
Yeah, 10, 15.
So there's so much like Star Wars fandom invested in who Boba Fett is that using a different Mandalorian and then having him pop up as like a side character is a more interesting show to me. All I don't necessarily think that it's a Boba Fett's pure evil, so we can't make a show about him.
So you're saying they learned their lesson from what they did to Luke, maybe? Maybe
that is the case. I think
I think they were working on the show before that though.
Yeah, I just think it's.
But it was originally Jon Favreau's idea was originally Boba Fett.
Right.
I could be wrong.
I just think if you start to write a Boba Fett show, you're
very limited.
You're gonna feel like super cornered.
Yeah.
And if you make it about someone else
that looks like Boba Fett,
that gives you. Yeah, I mean it.
Yeah.
It helps that it's established that there were more than one Mandalorian.
Right.
It gives you more options.
Yeah.
You get to tell more stories. He can still have like bounty hunter-ish tendencies, but then, giving him the lone wolf and cub story to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, they say you're a hunter and you're also hunted. Like that's what part of being a Mandalorian is.
Yeah.
Like
and the show gives us that,
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like his character was kind of evolving to have a little more humanity, and then he's like, "Oh, fuck this guy."
It was a turnoff for you.
Yeah, it was just like, oh. Well, then again, he did try to kill him. So I mean,
right? Yeah, there should be some consequences for that, probably. Okay, so we get back to Tatooine,
which we're back to Tatooine.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Is this the third time?
Second, I think, for him. Maybe third. At least the second.
I mean,
there was a Tatooine episode.
It was gonna happen. Either way, because you can't. I mean, it'd be real hard to get Boba Fett on the show without going to Tatooine.
I think it's weird that they decided. I mean, it's still early in this season 2, so we don't know what their plans are for Boba Fett.
Right.
To me, the way that season 1 went, you didn't need a Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
it's its own story.
I don't think it's necessary at all. The show could go on its own. I do like that it's pulling in a lot from like the Clone Wars and now from the original trilogy. That's rad. I'm for it.
You're for? Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely for making any attempts to make it all feel united. Like, so when they reach back and pull something from the prequels, so having the actor who played Jango Fett come back and play Boba Fett,
right?
Like, is that like a huge like hurrah for the prequels? Not at all. But it's enough, anything that just that doesn't completely discard the prequels, I'm for. And making it all feel like episodes 1 through 9 plus Rogue One plus the Solo movie plus the Clone Wars plus Rebels. It's all a part of one big thing, and you have an embarrassment of riches to pull from. So pull from them.
So he gets. We haven't even
create new stuff.
Yeah, and we're talking about things that are not directly.
Yeah,
the episode plot points or anything like that. This is like just broader Star Wars concepts and ideas. And I love that they or Timothy Oliphant's car was like made from an engine of it.
Right.
Car.
Right.
What are they? Speeder.
The pod racer.
The speeder.
Oh, the speeder.
The speeder is made from like an old pod racer engine.
I love it.
Could have been, Yeah.
It just shows that there's thought and detail going into all of these decisions, and
Which
I appreciate that.
yeah, in a way, maybe this is a good point to like compare Mandalorian to which we haven't touched on is new Star Wars.
The sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Yes. Honestly, I thought so. Last year, Mandalorian season 1 came out a month before
Rise
of Skywalker came out, and Rise of Skywalker did fine at the box office, but did not blow the doors off. It was not a hurrah, we did it. We summed up 30 years worth of movies.
It felt like a flustercluck.
Agreed. The Mandalorian season 1 came out, and people were so excited, and the story was so good that it set up, I think it heightened everybody's level of expectation. And then Rise of Skywalker came in and was like, sure. Don't get me wrong. Somebody's like, hey, do you want to watch Rise of Skywalker right now? I'd be like, sure, let's do it. I'm for it. And same thing with The Last Jedi. Loved them both.
I think we're like in the minority, as we both probably agree Last Jedi is a great film.
I think Last Jedi is one of the best films.
Yes.
Across the board.
Yeah.
I might even...
I'm sad about what they did to Luke, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I thought it was a strong movie. I liked Rian Johnson's perspective.
It was totally different. It didn't feel, I mean, the only thing is
it didn't feel like a retread.
But it left nowhere for them to go. I think that was the problem. There was no, like at the end, there was nowhere for this film to go.
Right.
Like it could have.
There was so much possibility at the end of The Last Jedi, as far as like the idea of this is the spark that will grow and create the revolution.
Right. And like people were waking up with the Force. That would have been cool. Like if Finn would have like actually got the Force.
Right. If the first 20 minutes, if the first 20 minutes of the Rise of Skywalker was people like the Force, like for real awakening and like people all over the place and having like exponential growth, and then, you know, and moving it from there, done. But instead it becomes like this like D plot of, oh, by the way, some more people are going to be Force sensitive. We're not going to explore it at all.
Or explain it. Yeah.
We're just going to like, yeah. And, you know, maybe that's what the next trilogy is about.
Oh, well, you need to keep watching Rebels. You will see.
Okay.
There's a path to possibly 86ing the entire.
What? Stop right there. We will have, we'll come back. We'll do another episode in a year and a half when I finish watching Clone Wars, finish watching Rebels.
If we keep doing this show, you need to catch up.
There's more Mandalorians. Yeah. And when I get there.
It could be 86. I mean, people watching this probably know what I'm talking about. They know, you know what I'm talking about. And the way that Mandalorian is progressing along, we might go in order from Mandalorian into an entirely new Star Wars.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to know what that's all about. I want to discover it for myself and enjoy it fully in its completeness. We get some great moments in this first episode of The Mandalorian season 2. We get some Boba Fett armor on Timothy Oliphant's just strikingly beautiful man body. Just like handsomeness on handsomeness. Timothy O. The sand dragon situation is that, you know, love it when somebody decides to get swallowed by the beast so that they can explode it from within.
That was a little... You like that?
I feel like that's like a common trope now. Like that's becoming a thing. And I love that.
It disturbed me a little bit because they showed how powerful his acid was. And we know the Mandalorian's outfit cannot be air sealed. Right. So he would have melted.
Right. There's some seams there. Yeah. That's not an ironclad deal.
That's not a go out into space and just float around.
Right. Look, you gotta willfully suspend some disbelief. That's for sure.
Yeah, that bothered me actually.
They had the Raiders walking in single file to disguise their numbers, like Obi-Wan said in the very first movie.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
The Raider callback really.
Dudes know sign language. That's great for that's got to be fun for the deaf community to watch that and be like, hey, I'm represented.
It's not just the deaf community. It is natives.
Word?
Natives of pretty much all lands that pretty much get eradicated. It's a very similar parallel.
Fair.
That we can talk about if we wanted to. It's nice that they found a way to have peace by having a common enemy.
Yep. Agreed. And we got in Sedaris's shop, we got the R5 who has a bad motivator in the very first movie.
R5.
Is it R5?
It is.
It is R5? Okay.
Yeah.
I felt like 70% confident that I was saying
right
that it was actually R5.
Yeah, that was the R5. Yeah.
The
so
R5.
We get a lot of callbacks.
Yeah, a lot of callbacks. We see
the Boba.
Boba Fett. At least we assume. It could be some other clone who aged
I think
slowly.
They put somewhere that it was him playing Boba Fett on like an IMDb or something like that. So I think it's pretty much confirmed.
And then we go straight into episode 2 where we don't see him at all.
Right.
Because we are on another mission going somewhere completely else.
The thing that I like about the show and the thing that I don't like about the show are probably the same thing. It's like, what about Moff Gideon? What about Cara Dune? Like, you're really just being thrown into his story. Like, you only see it from...
it is definitely a singular point of view.
Yeah.
And it's wherever these two go, we're following. But I like it. I like that. I like that it doesn't have to be like you have these like one-off episodes, or actually it kind of feels like the Clone Wars in a sense, because they would have like these like little 2-3 episode storylines and then go off, completely somewhere else, some other planet, and deal with somebody else. To
us, because we're on episode 2, it feels like they're not connected, but we don't know how this could be connected.
True. And I liked that that this whole storyline with the frog lady and the eggs does not get resolved at the end of the episode. Like, they still haven't made it to the planet.
So let's finish up episode 1 real quick, just like overall thoughts, maybe some kind of
sure.
And then just finish it up, tie a knot on the bow on the knot.
Yeah.
Bow on the.
I thought the episode was a lot of fun. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Good to Tatooine is obviously a place that we keep coming back to. So that is going to remain a central figure in this show.
Mm-hmm.
And
how do you feel about it being like? How do you feel about Jakku versus Tatooine? Like, it felt like it was the same place, but a different place.
Yeah, Jakku, I feel was a misstep. I feel like Jakku was a misstep.
It should have just been Tatooine.
It should have been Tatooine, or it should have been some like non-desert.
Non-desert. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a little too on the nose.
For me, the first episode, like, I was really happy with the length of it too, because I was like, the season 1, they're too short.
Yeah, 30-minute quick trips.
Yeah,
like dropping it. Like, as soon as the episode started, my wife was like, "Oh, hey,
yeah,
is this is a double episode?
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I'm for it. Yeah. This should be an hour-long show.
Yeah, every episode should be 45 an hour. I think is the sweet spot.
Yeah, a tight 45.
Yeah, because.
No, a loose 45.
I mean, I do feel like there's plenty of spots where it's like kind of dragging out because it's showing from his point of view. Like, you're watching him go from this place to the next place. Like, they don't have something else to cut to. They're not showing another timeline. They're not showing anything else going on. It's like a thing I like, and it's also the thing I don't like.
Yeah, it's nice, but it could also detract on occasion.
Because like the only time we see it cut out of it is like when it's like doing a flashback to show Timothy Olyphant as a flashback when he insurrected the mobster whatever thing.
He got the armor from the Jawas.
He took out that whole takeover. That was different than the way that we've seen the show go.
True. Yeah, that was a different way of storytelling. Certainly.
Yeah.
Final thought on episode 1.
Great, except I really was like a little upset that he went into the acid stomach and didn't die.
Okay.
But like, he could have just flew off, and the thing probably would have ate the bantha, and it would have been just okay for me.
Right.
It would have made more sense to me than like risking your life getting melted. See, and that too is like what I was talking about. Like, oh, maybe he is really like trying to be a better person. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So, but I loved it. Yeah, and going back to Tatooine didn't seem as forced as last time, so that was nice. Is that it?
Yeah, no, that's great.
So we actually finished talking about Mandalorian season 2, episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, episode 2. full-blown horror episode. This was a horror movie. The bulk of the action, if you will, was
terrifying.
Geiger level alien with a mix of the giant spider from Lord of the Rings / Harry Potter.
I felt like there were so many spiders that he should have got eaten.
Oh, definitely.
Like they're like, no, but he has to get away because the show is called The Mandalorian.
Right.
So like, I think they could have dialed it back a little bit. Like it was just too. Yeah. It was a lot of spiders.
There was definitely like how are they gonna get out of this one?
But it was like they shouldn't be able to get out of this.
Right.
One. Like it was the problem, I think.
Yeah,
like,
I think there was
dialed it back a little.
There was the moment where he pulls out the 3 bombs.
I mean, it worked. I was on the edge of my seat. Don't get me wrong, but like it just seems like a little too much.
Yeah, there's the moment he pulls out 3 bombs. Figures that out. They show the long shot cutaway of like explosions and them coming out of it. It's like, oh, that worked. And obviously,
here's the thing I'm having trouble with this season. It's like Baby Yoda, the child.
Yeah,
he's not doing anything. Like he could have shoved the dragon down.
I think he's still figuring it out. I think he
could throw some spiders up against the wall.
I think that's a worst case scenario kind of a deal, and I don't think he knows fully what he's doing there.
He seems a little more adult now. He's actually walking around instead of he's not in the.
True, but he's also eating everything he sees and creating the most dangerous situation by eating this tiny spider egg, which was hella gross.
Or the eggs.
Or the eggs. I feel so bad for this lady frog.
I felt so guilty.
I'm like, I want Baby Yoda to have whatever he wants. Okay? Full disclosure, I want him to be happy. I want him to have a long 400-year life.
It's weird like how little of like people eating meals in Star Wars you see. And so when you see it and it's Baby Yoda eating frogs, or eggs, or spiders, it's a little like unnerving.
It's great. It's adorable. But then you see the consequence of that, 3 yards to the left with the frog lady, and it's like, ooh, I hope she doesn't find out.
You know what? It could have been?
Eating the eggs.
The episode 2 could have been a Rally's commercial.
What?
You gotta eat.
You gotta eat. Look, Mandalorian, when are we gonna pull this thing over and get some seasoned fries? When is that gonna happen?
You gotta eat.
Mando, let's pull off in the next system.
Sorry.
Get a rally burger. Yes. Hey, people from rallies, get your shit together and make this commercial. I'm susceptible to marketing. Yeah, the DARE campaign worked on me. I don't do drugs. Yeah. Real mixed success rate on the DARE campaign, but it worked for me. I mean, realistically, there isn't a whole lot to this episode other than scary spiders. And you know what? It was cool to see the X-Wings in action. Yeah. Definitely when they were like, "Hey, let's go to Channel 2," and then you see the X-Wings go. It's like, uh-oh. Yeah. We know what that means. Not subtle, X-Wing guys. It was cool to see them come back because I had no idea who was blasting all them spiders off the ship. And then, like a little bit of like, hey, real quick, just to bring everybody up to speed, really thrilled that you, did all this good stuff. That's why we saved your life. But we're not going to help you get out of here. We'll see you later. We got to go. We got other things to do.
Yeah. Like we don't want to take the time to arrest you because it's a pain in the ass.
Right. Look, then I gotta go.
Help some of our people. So.
I gotta do a whole bunch of paperwork.
Yeah.
I gotta show up at your court hearing. That's not gonna be fun. I gotta take a day off. Somebody's gotta watch my kids while I do that. That's not gonna be fun. This is like the reconstituted, the new republic. Today's episode is sponsored by coffee and rallies. Do the things like, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. Leave us a review. Venmo, Cash App, hit us up, help us out. Let's get some funding. Let's get some sugar daddies and mamas. Get a little benefactor action. You're like, look, make this our full time. Dave Filoni, hit us up. Hit us up.
Yeah, Star Wars is great.
You know what? Dave, here's the deal. We need more straight white men involved in Star Wars. Yeah, we can really bring a new perspective.
George
he
was straight and white.
True.
And this is a pretty multicultural universe.
Oh, agreed. I'm thrilled about the diversity in the show. Again, Giancarlo, brilliant actor, loved him. In The Boys, he was, oh man, if you're not watching The Boys.
I'm watching The Boys.
The Boys is
Should we
strong.
We're going to talk about The Boys.
Oh my gosh, we were going to have a Boys episode. Boys episode. What else we got? Ming Na. Love Ming Na. Been loving her since the ER days. Shout out Jingmei Chen fans.
Oh gosh, they killed her though.
Oh, she'll come back. She's coming back. She got killed off screen, man. That ain't
off screen is not really dead.
Off screen is not dead. Episode 2. It was a great episode.
But the other thing. So at the beginning, is it all Ice Planet the whole time?
Oh no! At the beginning, he was still on Tatooine. He went and met up with Amy Sedaris' character, and she's playing cards with the with the mandible.
Yeah. And then she like hustles him out of 500.
She hustles him out of 500 units.
Yeah,
which is like
credits. Yeah,
man, come on.
And then she wants more later.
Like tough.
Like the one friend he has is like hustling him out of money, which
right?
is kind of messed up.
Yeah, and then she hooks him up with Frog Lady, who she's like, I swear, my life, I met her 48 hours ago.
Yeah,
and then they're on their way, but they can't travel by light speed because the eggs will freak out and die.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
thought provoking.
Like, what happens biologically to people during light speed?
You go really fast.
Right, exactly. So obviously eggs can't handle that.
You know,
why is it that eggs can't handle that?
It's all relative, I guess.
Maybe.
I think it's just a plot device.
Yeah, definitely it's just a plot device. But
it's but I would imagine if you're really flying that
flying
fast,
at light
it's
speed.
Maybe not the flight. You know what it is? It's probably just when they speed up. It's the acceleration.
Oh, the acceleration
and then they
point.
Splat.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
Yeah, so like once you get going, opposite motion, you're still in motion.
Yeah, if there was
maybe it's the start and the stop.
Yeah,
that really kind of.
So like when you go to light speed, you like your eyes go to the back of your head, I guess.
Would somebody like a Han Solo who's been flying light speed day in day out?
Yeah, he probably has like a lot of internal organ problems.
If Han Solo is alive on, let's just put him on random planet. Endor. He's living on Endor. Got himself a nice hut. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, he's doing his space hustle. Okay. We've got 2 different Han Solos. Same biology, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them just lives on Endor, never travels light speed. One travels light speed all the time.
Mm-hmm. Take
away all the variables of being a spice runner or whatever, like all of the hustles that Han Solo is doing. Take away all of the variables of that and just deal with the biology of constantly coming in and out of light speed and living on Endor, having a peaceful, chill Ewok life.
Cabin in the woods.
Right.
Mm.
Does Endor Han Solo live longer?
For sure.
I think, 100%. 100%. He lives longer.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, how much internal trauma is happening
every time
he jumps in and out of light speed?
But this is new. This is a new introduction. Like this is like changing. This is fundamentally changing Star Wars in a way that we just now are realizing.
Well, I mean, is this the same as like in the 70s? Smoking wasn't that big of a deal.
Right
now, we're like, hey, turns out smoking's real bad for you.
Yeah, it's like those scanners in the airport.
Right. Yeah. Are we gonna find out 20 years from now?
It hasn't taken that long. They already know it causes cancer. Yeah, like and those guys, they have to rotate them out. They can't only work next to the machine.
Word.
They have to like work there 1 day or 2 days, and then they go to another area.
So people who are flying all the time, biologically, are having the same problem that Han Solo has going in and out of light speed.
Yeah.
Similar, not the same.
Similar,
not the same.
Yeah. Something like that.
Right.
But before it was fine. Like you could just go to light speed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you thought it was.
But really, does the New Republic have a Surgeon General's warning on too much light speed in 1 year? Is there like who's doing the hard reporting on long-term repercussions of light speed?
But And
this is just as important as the independent contractors working on the second Death Star. This is 100% just
I feel
as
bad
important.
for them, really.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
terrible.
Look, you find out you got, I'm gonna make a little money.
Gotta make some money.
Empire's in charge, so I can send some money home. Maybe even I have my family on the rig with me.
Yeah.
We're just trying to finish this contract, and then I think we're talking about maybe
build a space ball and then go home.
Yeah, exactly. We just the weapon system's fully operational, so that's one less thing. Now we just gotta
finish with
finish the shell. That's slap some sheet metal on it, and we should be pretty set. And then they all get blown
and the
up.
Terrariums
They all get blown up.
There's a glass ball and there's plants living in it, and they don't die. They just live.
This is
real.
Oh, terrariums, just as a thing. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta meet.
It breaks science.
You gotta meet my friend Tom. Tom's Terrariums. If you're in Louisville, check out Tom's Terrariums. Tom knows what's up.
Sponsored by Tom's Terrarium.
Tom's a good dude. He knows what's up.
But science is out the window. They say it creates its own ecosystem, but they say that the ecosystem is because of animals that breathe out carbon dioxide so that the plant can breathe it.
Well,
and then
there's still an
breathes
opening
out.
in the glass.
Well, they made some that are sealed, and they still go. And to break science again, this plant back here,
Now, are there
no sunlight, and it keeps growing.
what kind of plant is it?
This is blacked out. I'm just saying the theory. How can it grow?
Maybe it doesn't need
It's
that much
bamboo.
light. I don't know. I got to read up on bamboo.
I'm just saying.
Some plants need more light than others.
I'm just saying, there's something to it. This is not. This is where I sound like a crazy person.
No. Keep going. This is great.
No, but I mean, look. There's literally no sunlight in this room. So somehow,
because you can have plants that live off of.
These are LEDs, dude. These are not plant lights.
Look,
These
is it perfect light? But you could get some tube lamps and do a whole hydroponic thing.
That's what I'm
in your
saying.
basement,
I didn't do anything. It's fine and flourishing.
Maybe it just doesn't need that much light. I don't know. I'm gonna read up on bamboo. You're skeptical of science. You're skeptical of science. I get it. You're skeptical of science. I understand
cannot be
that.
accurate.
I understand that.
Speaking of, this
Science
is what I was going to come back to.
But science is not. It's not a finite thing.
It's always. It is. It's always
We're
wrong.
always-
It's always wrong.
Well, yeah, but you're moving forward.
But every time you move forward, everything else was wrong.
Not necessarily.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Okay, so we'll take eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein.
Mhm.
Eggs can also fuck with your cholesterol.
That's what they say.
So
Now it's like, oh, but that cholesterol is the good cholesterol. So eggs are great.
hey, we're moving forward.
No, we're not. We're moving right back to where you started. Eggs are great.
But I'm sure that there's some people metabolically, maybe eggs aren't so great for them.
Eggs-
If they have high cholesterol, maybe it's bad for them.
I'm glad you brought up eggs. Eggs are literally one of the best foods you can possibly eat.
Word.
The most amino acids,
Okay.
of anything,
All right.
and the cholesterol that is in eggs is very good for you. It is one of the most beneficial things you can eat. And
I eat them almost every day.
The protein is great for building muscle. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Okay, but if you fry them in bacon grease.
Bacon grease is fat,
Yep.
animal fat,
Mm-hmm.
which before used to be bad, and vegetable was good, but has been proven the opposite. So, what are you worried about?
What am I worried about?
It's fine. People live a long time eating bacon and sausage and living on farms and milk. That's a way of life. That's been a way of life for a long time for some people, and they're healthy.
I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I like all of those things.
Yeah.
I eat all of those things.
Yeah.
And sausage, not so much. At least breakfast sausage.
Yeah,
But a breakfast
sausage
yeah.
technically would be more bad for you because it's processed in certain
Right.
ways. I guess
I
we'll
think we
wrap
got
it up.
it.
No, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap up. Let's just put a final word on here.
Okay. Great show. Tonally went into I feel like a sci-fi horror show kind of.
If you're
Definitely.
a kid watching this,
Oh,
this
yeah.
goes back to the Star Wars is for kids. I don't know about that anymore. This show is kind of getting serious tone.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. This show. I don't know. I don't have kids. But I think if I had a kid and they were 10, 11, I would have no problem having them watch this.
Yeah.
But then again, if I had a kid who was 10, 11, I would watch Aliens with them, and that
Right.
would be a big deal.
So it doesn't show blood in this.
True.
In this show, which But it was for real scary.
Oh yeah, and like when they come out of the cockpit area and there's like spider webs all over the place.
Yeah. It was
Ew.
freaky.
No, thank you.
I didn't think it would ever go that like horror.
Oh yeah, no, I did not think so at all. I didn't think so. I was like, okay, we'll probably show like one or two of these eggs start to explode, and then they'll bolt, and then they'll be like,
out. Yeah,
we'll get out of this. No. And it took a turn.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
We're worried about Frog Girl as well,
Yep.
but like the story didn't really get very far.
Yeah, like as far as like major plot points, no, really all we got was he's still trying to stay off a lot of radars.
He's looking for Mandalorians.
Looking for the Mandalorians.
He found the frog lady.
Yeah. And
Baby Yoda eats eggs.
Yeah. Baby Yoda eats whatever it wants, whenever it wants. And honestly, I want to give
happy Yoda.
I want a happy Baby Yoda because it is adorable and it deserves everything it wants.
The child should be happy. Whatever the child wants, the child gets.
Truth.
But he was walking a lot. I think I mentioned that. But he was really
walking a lot. Yeah.
Like he's growing up.
A lot of
growing up.
A lot of noises too.
I
feel like he's gonna start talking by the end of this season.
Yeah,
he's gonna say one or two words.
He's bigger too. I don't know because like he was like teeny in the first season, and now
I'll have to go back.
He's like walking around. He's much bigger. Yeah,
that's great.
He's filling out his robe. Like before, his robe like kind of like ate him.
Yeah,
not literally, but consumed his stature, and now he's filling out into it.
All right, so let's end on this. All right, last thought. Baby Yoda, Porgs, Ewoks. Put them in order of cuteness. Go.
I mean, it's obvious. Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda wins.
The
child, number one. Number one with a bullet. Mandalorian season 2, episode 2. A lot of fun. Enjoyed it a lot. Got a little scary. Maybe too much for our tastes, but a lot of fun. Is this entertainment?
Podcast. And we appreciate you.
Appreciate you listening, watching, however you are consuming this. And anything that we've gotten wrong, feel free to politely correct us in whatever comments section, or not politely, who knows? It's the internet, nobody's polite. All right, guys, appreciate you. Jacob, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
All right, let's go watch some more Star Wars. All right, bye.